Our region's business is sponsored by PNC for the achiever in you.
So what's ahead in terms of opportunity across our region, and what role will higher education play in making more people, putting more people in a position to take advantage of it? Well, we're back with the relatively new presidents of 3 local universities, David Finegold from Chatham, Christopher Howard from Robert Morris, Andrew Egan from Penn State Greater Allegheny. Let's pick up, we were talking a little bit about the declining pool of 18-year-olds. You're saying your absent enrollment has gone up. What are you all seeing in terms of the available students to come to school?
Well, hey, Chris, yeah.
Thank you very much, Andy. We still have a robust pipeline of students. Our numbers are looking very, very strong in terms of applications, acceptances, and deposits. We think that that nexus to Pittsburgh, we have a strong nexus to the professions, so actuarial science, engineering, accounting, etc. It makes us, I think, we're sort of on the right side of history in terms of what we're putting out there. So I'm not going to say there's not a challenge. If you talk to my head of enrollment management, she will tell you that she's working really, really hard. But by the same token, we think what we're offering is a value, and people are willing to make the investment, and we remain affordable. You know, it's an investment, but we remain affordable.
Yeah. I would say we're optimistic. I think our enrollment has followed the demographic trends in the region over the last 10
well, and you're in the
Mon
Valley, which has gotten older and older. Yeah.
Exactly, and it's not just a declining population, it's high poverty rates, you know, high sense of economic and social dislocations for a lot of people. So we can talk about declining numbers of people, but if declining numbers also mean that poverty rates may be going up and sort of disenfranchisement from the system is also going up, I think that's problematic. But we think it's turning up. Our applications are up for next year versus last year by about 14%. We think that's a good thing. And we kind of divided into helping students access higher education, because we deal with a lot of low-income students and first-generation students, and then making sure our programs align with labor market demand and student demand, as well as our mission, and making sure that general education is a core part of that mission. Yeah,
and Chris, you talked about, you've got some great, known for accounting and those types of professions for many, many years. Is that the future? Parents want to know, is my kid going to go to college and I'm going to graduate with a degree, I can get a good salary? Is there still room for just a good old-fashioned general education?
Well, absolutely. I mean, I think, we view the liberal arts as very much at the core, and, one of the ironies of how rapidly the economy is changing is we're not sure what the jobs are going to be in 10 or 20 years. And so I think one of the most vital skills that you can give people is learning how to learn and think critically. And if you ask most employers, what they say they most want are problem solving, the ability to work in cross-cultural teams. And those are all a core part of this education. But we want to layer that with good preparation for careers. So, for Chatham, we're really focused on being a world-leading university in sustainability and the health sciences. And those are two of the areas we see the biggest growth opportunities because of the med side of Pittsburgh, but also just all of the challenges we face around sustainability here, but also globally. And so lots of new careers, lots of new jobs opening up in those areas.
Talk a little bit about the aging of our region's population, but our workforce in particular. Clearly, higher ed's got a huge role to play here in meeting the demand for these 300,000 baby boomers we're going to lose over the next decade.
Yeah,
so.
According to the Allegheny Conference and the inflection point study, we'll need about 80,000 new employees in the next 10 years because of the baby boomers retiring and because of new jobs that are created. So this idea of lifelong learning is going to be very, very critical. So yeah, there is a incredibly shrinking 18-year-old population, maybe to the tune of 20,000 or so, 18,000 in the last 8 to 10 years or so here in Pennsylvania. But there are lots of people that need upskilling, that need more education, more learning, more training, etc. We want to be at Robert Morris, amongst other things, we want to be the preferred strategic learning partner for corporations, organizations, professionals, and pre-professionals in the region. I agree with Dave 100%. We need to do the good old education, reading, writing, arithmetic. We do that through our communication skills program because, as I learned in the military, you train for what you know and you educate for what you don't know. But we also think that parents really are very cognizant of, to answer your question, the future is not just going into a job at PNC or UPMC or what have you, but having that pipeline there, it really does help. And I think that once you get into the workforce and you are prepared for one profession, I think it does, if you have the right mindset, put you in a good position to go to another profession if you so desire. Yeah,
only about 30 seconds left, but Dave, I wonder about you and how this plays out in your part of the region.
Yeah, I would say I would echo what both David and Christopher said about making sure that we still have a fundamental base of the liberal arts and general education upon which we're going to build programs that are relevant. And how relevance is defined is, that's the question, right? It can't all be labor market driven, because labor market is here today, but maybe it's going to be different in 5 or 10 years. We need to be able to anticipate some of those changes down the line, and that's really a challenge for higher education, because we're not always as agile as we'd like to be, for example. So just shifting in the middle from one program to another doesn't happen overnight in higher education very well. And for us, it's a matter of getting into the communities too, not expecting people all to come to us, but making sure we're in the communities and reaching out to everyone and making sure that we're as accessible as possible to the people who are there. So.
Well, as you can say, as you all have said, there's no better skill to have than to be able to learn. So yeah, really important to everybody. Dave Finegold from Chatham, Chris Howard from Robert Morris, and Egan from Penn State Greater Allegheny. Best of luck, and hope you enjoy your tenure here in Pittsburgh.
Thank you very much.
Thanks. And we'll be back in a minute with a little dollars and cents. Stay with us.